Hello.
Do,
Hi,
do,
everybody.
do, 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 do. The music's very calming. It's giving coffee shop vibes. So
Yeah,
I'm a fan.
it's
I'm a
nice.
fan. Welcome everyone. Alex.
Welcome to A/B testing. I'm back.
Yeah, Alex, the A. The A is back. We had a sub, but
Yeah.
we had a sub for our A.
I'm
But,
glad that we've got enough A's and B's working with us that we
yep.
can sub properly.
Yeah. And if we don't have enough A's and B's, we then will
find
be
some
like Burr.
C's or some R's or some
And then we switch it up. But yes, thank you everyone for joining us today. A/B testing. If you're joining us from YouTube, hello. If you're joining us from Twitch, hi. I don't know why I switched up I don't know. Maybe this is my YouTube
Is
voice.
that the energy
hello.
for each one? It's like, hello on YouTube, hi on Twitch.
Yeah. Hi. Yeah. But I actually feel like Twitch would be like more like hi, like more cool.
You think Twitch?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, versus YouTube be like, hi, thanks for joining our YouTube channel. You know what I mean? Like that's okay, great. Okay, so what do we have on the docket today? So today we'll be talking about a few things. One, we'll be talking about streaming.
Mhm.
We really want to kind of demystify that in case you get a tap on your shoulder digitally to join stream. We want to make sure that you're prepared, and then also like streaming is such this interesting world, so we'll be talking about that. And then as always we'll talk about sponsored, not sponsored. From there we're going to talk about Twilio Video. Twilio Video is back on the scene, but we want to just kind of explore it, so we really just want to explore some Twilio videos. So let's hop right into it. Okay, so why did we even want to talk about like stream, right?
Mm-hmm.
Stream stuff. So
no, it's okay.
Oh, okay. So why did we want to talk about stream?
Yeah.
What was our inspo there, Alex?
So we starting in a few weeks, we're gonna have some external guests. We're gonna have our Twilio champions coming on. And one thing that we've heard several times from people who've come on the show is before they come on, it seems really scary. And after they come on, they're like, oh, that was easy. That was so much fun. And one day I get to come back. And even I think one of our early guests was Anthony, who I think Anthony's been on the show twice now. But he was a little bit nervous before the first time, and then we actually had our little like pre stream call, and he felt way better, so we were able to kind of like set him at ease. And I think one of our goals is telling and showing why it's not scary to come on stream with us. Maybe there's some people who it is scary to come on stream with. I can't guarantee that everyone's as friendly as we are, but we really, really try to make it as fun, easy, and kind of just not scary. I don't know what's the opposite of scary.
I don't know. Yeah, I think the other piece there too is like I think we assume that we're going to be great at everything. Sometimes I think we forget those feelings of nervousness kind of come when we're doing things that are new and different. So I think even just like embodying the energy of the show, which is just like, this is A/B testing. And it's like, whenever I think about like A/B testing, it's just like, let's try all these different ways. And I think for us, it's like an experience. It's a journey. So we definitely wanted to make some space to explore what does it mean to be a guest on a stream. We had to learn through trial and error. So, we wanted to create that resource. So like I would say, one, I always like to say like, why are people invited, right? So I usually send folks a note, right? And I'm like, hey, you've been selected. And, on this stream, we like to just kind of pull folks that are excited about Twilio, and not just excited about Twilio, but I think just excited about building, talking about what they're building. So if you're on this show, you're special to us. You're special to our kind of ecosystem. We want to hear your voice. And I think I've often thought that like we can tell you about Twilio, but it is so much better to hear somebody else. We can tell you about building, about creating things, but I think hearing from other folks in the community is 10 times better. So for us, at least, like, there's a space of, we want to hear from you, right? Like, we don't want to hear ourselves talking, even though there are countless hours of us talking on the internet. But
can I tell you something weird that happened to me?
Oh gosh.
Okay, there's this thing where when you hear your own voice, it sounds strange. Like, it sounds a little higher than you're normally used to all this stuff. I recently was watching videos of myself and realized I don't sound strange to myself anymore because I am on so much recording and watching videos. And now part of that might also be that they like use AI to audio correct some of the stuff. But I was like, oh, this doesn't sound weird anymore. What's going on? Like, I've been watching too many videos of myself.
That makes that I could see that. Yeah, it reminds me of like the recordings. Yeah, hearing recordings of myself. I was like, is that are you sure that's me? I sound way cooler to myself than I'm sounding currently.
Right.
But yeah, so I think, the invitation is often just kind of rooted of like, come and build with us. So the other thing too is just like, what are some of the segments, right? Like what are some of the segments that we like to kind of build upon? So we have a few. I think we might have some visuals too.
Yeah. Do you want me to share the segment screen?
Yeah.
Cool.
So y'all are getting into the nitty gritty. Like, we're going deep with y'all. So technically we like to see different things, right? So like builds. Build is one where we'll maybe talk about like, kind of showing about a concept or an idea. So that's where we put the OpenAI real time. So we did that, right? Like, just let's talk about it. Sometimes we'll have some live coding, right? So I think there was like a recent episode where something was there. The other space is sometimes we'll kind of refine, right? So say you had built something out and then you're like, let's go back to this. So I like to think of this as like your old project. So ideally within this like build umbrella, there's a few things. And we bring up this segment aspect because each show might not be the same. Each show will have a different component, and we want to make sure that it speaks to you. And again, even though we're talking about like joining this stream, I think this is also helpful context for like, as you're, everyone can be a streamer. Everyone's a builder. Everyone's a streamer. But like, the goal too is that like you can use this to refine. So we have like our build section. Anything else you would add there, Alex?
We've found that, and you chat, let us know what you think, but we found that you guys really like the build sections. And I think what we're going to start trying to do is make sure we're about to talk about learn, but there's like some technical meat to whatever we're talking about. So like, hey, Frackberg, we want to know, like, do you guys really love seeing code? Do you just like seeing anything technical? Do you like seeing demos? So like, we'd love to hear from you guys about what you like, but the notion there is like, we think, and from what we've heard so far, y'all really like the build stuff. And so I like a lot of this too is like, we just try stuff and see what y'all like. That, and then I also like to code sometimes too, and I don't do enough of it.
That is true. So then the other segment too that we find that is helpful to kind of learn behind the scenes, right? So kind of how we launched a thing. Get excited because you might be seeing a lot of those ahead of an event that we have called Signal, in case you haven't heard. So, really that behind the scenes, we had one where we talked about docs, right? Like kind of, the road to, just all things docs. So that was a thing. Thought leadership to me is more so like that deep dive. So Kelly did one Kelly did one. And then also Vinny, I feel like Vinny kind of gave us a lay of the land around like security as it relates to AI. So I think that was another arena. But so
it feels similar to the build, but we're like walking through something or teaching something, not necessarily writing the code. And I think there's a fine difference there, and those are pretty related, but we definitely want to start trying to really have one of these two meatier segments in ours. And we do that a lot with guests. And so, yeah, I really like those because I always learn something new too.
No, yeah, those, oh my gosh, those are some of my favorites because I think, you know, we're also learning too, right? Like there's tons of stuff happening at Twilio in the industry. So we as well, right, are kind of getting to soak that up. The other kind of segments that we tend to have would be like roundtable, but we haven't done that as much.
No.
So we'll figure out like what that can look like.
Yeah, having a lot of people on stream can be a little chaotic. We saw that. It was so much fun to do that mega stream for Liftoff a few weeks ago, and it was also a little chaotic. So I think that's why we haven't really dove into that one as much.
Gotcha. I'd asked chat like how many folks had streamed. So, well, you know, it's cool to see that, like, again, you know, when we have some streamers in the mix. So in terms of the other segment, we have this thing called Replay Discuss. We haven't done as much of that one, but with Twilio Update, I do feel like we're gonna start pulling in, you know, more content there.
Yeah, I can see the Twilio Update one going two ways because you can do it before and help inform the Twilio Update, or you can do it after based on what was there. So it can go both ways. We did that once with the Ridwell interviews that we did. That was an early stream that we did where we played videos and then talked about them. It's a fun format, but it takes a lot of work to prepare because you have to get the videos into the right segments. You have to figure out what you're going to want to talk about. It's one of those things that looks really, if you don't put a lot of energy into it, it looks a little haphazard, but you have to put a good amount of energy in to like get it to a place where it looks natural and smooth.
Yeah. The other thing too, with I think some of those segments, it's kind of similar to like, I don't know, when you had the substitute teachers and like they would roll in the cart with the TV, but then it's like hard to talk to your, like if everyone's focusing on like the TV. So I found that like interaction can feel a little different there. When you're kind of doing these like watch backs. So we haven't done as much of those, but that's a thing. And again, chat, like, please, folks watching, let us know what kind of segments are resonating to you, what speaks. And then the other one was like Startup Builder. We haven't done much of these as much, but who knows? We'll have some spaces, especially as we're doing more work kind of within the ecosystem. I do think we might end up getting more inbound stuff. So
yeah. And where that one comes from is a program that I've really slowed down, but I was doing a lot before, like a year ago, was Startup Office Hours. So I'd have startups come and ask questions, then I'd do my best to help them. It was really helpful when there was like a lot of A2P 10 DLC stuff happening, because what happened in that moment was our support teams were so overwhelmed with all of the last minute A2P requests that other stuff was falling off too. So I ended up being really helpful for a lot of the startups that were kind of trying to bridge that gap, that were having trouble getting in touch with support. It's not so much a thing anymore. And so I haven't had as many inbound requests because our support team is really great when they are well resourced and when they have the availability and the time to help everybody, which they do now. And my thought was like, hey, it's really hard to do these one-on-one office hours all the time. Can I bring it to a bigger audience so that more people can learn from the things I teach? Because a lot of times I say the same things over and over again. I'm trying to get away from that. So that's kind of where that one came from, which I think I could still see us doing something along those lines, or kind of talking more in the startup world. Because I mean, look, my job title is technically developer evangelist startups and yours is builder ecosystem. Like, we're both here originally for startups and we moved beyond that, but it's still kind of in our personal DNA a little bit. And then it's also in like our job role a little bit, although things have evolved.
They have. Yeah, I do think there's a space for just kind of best practices as you're building, and specifically tailoring it to a startup audience. So those are kind of some of the segments, right? So Ricey calls first.
I feel like we haven't done that, and we should do that soon, because those are fun to go through and talk about, but maybe a different show.
Oh yeah, no, that would be fun. I'm always fascinated with like what what kind of trends or what's exciting that people want to build. So we'll add that to the docket. So, okay. So say you're like, yes, want to join stream. Then what starts to happen, right? So that's the other aspect too around just like, it's not just like, hey, here's the stream structure, but then from our end, we then go through our process. So we do our formal invitation. So then we have an Airtable. So again, I'm giving you all the behind the scenes just so you kind of understand we're figuring it out too. We are literally figuring it out. So if you scroll up a little bit, in terms of like kind of some of the past ones, let's see, Kano, we could do
out of date.
Yep.
We haven't updated some of these.
As you can see. So yeah, so I would say like, let's go to Kano.
I don't think there was a lot in this one.
Wow. Okay, great. So typically, we would kind of add you to this document. And one of the things that's interesting here is just like, there's a connection point between us and our producer, Brent, of just like, how do we make it easy for us to just focus on the show while kind of, Brent is doing his thing.
And there's a whole bunch of other stuff we have here. Like this is our like streams, right? Like you can see today, it was guest experience on stream and Twilio video build. We haven't kept up with ideas, but we used to like store our different ideas for streams in here. We like put blog posts in here. We haven't used those as much. But what we did start using was our stream series. So we have started to think on a month by month basis, what are we going to do every month and what's our theme going to be? And then a month out, we try to find guests to fit into that theme. When we started this, and this last month hasn't been a good example, but both Bianca and I'm going to speak for you, Bianca, and you can tell me if I'm wrong. We really like talking to people. And so we have done more with guests, and we're trying to focus more on getting really engaging, great guests because we love talking to people. We love hearing other perspectives. We like learning from another human. And so this structure of like month by month, let's think about what fits in, lets us kind of gives us a little bit of a guideline so that we're not just like, okay, we could literally have anybody in the world, should we try to get the Dalai Lama? I don't know. So it gives us a little bit more structure to think through, okay, what are we going to do for the next 4 streams and so on and so forth, which really worked out in February when we did the voice and AI stuff. And right now for kind of March, April, May is going to be a lot of champions and some DevNetters kind of leading up with excitement to Signal. And so that's kind of the next thing. And then we got to figure out what's coming after that. But we have some ideas.
Yeah. And feel free, if you have any ideas, let us know as always. So from there, we would typically kind of add you to this document. The other resource we have too, which is, we have like yes. Okay.
This one? Yeah.
Yeah. Our Google Docs. So one thing for us, which is in the essence of the stream, which is building relationship, right? So whether it's with chat and our guests, like we want you to discover cool people and really dive in there. So we'll ask kind of folks, who are you? What are you about? So typically that's why you'll see some of that flow around like, we'll have some questions around professional, and if they're not Twilions, oh gosh. If they're not Twilions, like we'll have other non-Twilio specific. We love to get a sense of just like personal things, as well as just like different projects and demos. So like, Alex, can you kind of walk us through these different questions and what you feel like you really want folks to convey or share?
Yeah, we want to we talked earlier how we love to have the build or the learning section. So like, that's kind of where this project or demo fits in, right? It's what's the thing you want to teach? What is the thing that you want to show everybody? What's the code you're going to be pulling up or the demo you're going to be giving or the thing you're going to be building? But like if it was just code the whole time, like, I don't know, again, that wouldn't fit into Bianca and I's personality, right? We want to get to know the people and we want to get to know them on a personal level. Like, what are they into? And then we also want to like understand how they got to where they are professionally. I think that's always a super interesting thing, the journey. I think, again, we had such a good talk with like Vinny about like how he makes music and how that related to like his professional life. And so all these things weave together, and I think it tells such a compelling story, and also helps all of us get a little more empathy for like, oh, people come from everywhere. I can do really anything because people are coming from everywhere to do these things. And I love telling that story. Like one of my favorite stories of anybody who got into tech is Rashab. I think he's told this story on stream. He's told this story in a bunch of places, but like such a cool story. And if you just went in and started talking to Rashab about cloud stuff, you'd miss this part of him that is just such an inspirational story. And we're just trying to pull that inspiration out of people. And then also what this does for us is finds ways for us to relate to people, and then hopefully have all of you on stream relate to people on chat. And then helps us keep the conversation going, right? We have snippets to pull from. And then we also, once we get this document filled out, which only takes like 5 or 10 minutes, right? We're trying to make this easy. We start to think about show flow and structure from there and how we're going to fit it all together.
Yeah. The other thing I would add to this too, which is, you know, especially in this like kind of post COVID, like we're all hybrid era. You don't get to connect with people as much, right? Like, whereas, you'd have these kind of informal moments in the office. Like this to me is a space of, oh, wow, here's somebody in my industry. Here's someone who has similar preferences to here's someone who really likes tea. Not saying any names, but, you start to connect with different folks who are in your sphere, who are building things that you might be interested in. And I think like digitally, if we can start to facilitate these kind of connections, there's some cool stuff there. So that is, I feel like, another aspect that the show, can kind of really introduce. So
I'm going to spring something on you, Bianca, if you're okay with it.
I mean, I don't have a choice now. Like if I back down,
you can say no, like, and then you just will never know what I was about to do.
Okay, I'm gonna go for it because I'm curious. What is it? Curious.
What if you were handed this? What would you put for what are you into, and what would you like to talk about?
Ooh, wow, that was good. That was good, Alex. What am I into? I'm into so many things. I'm into food. I'm into skincare. I'm actually into like just kind of how do we meld a bunch of different things together to create cool stuff. So whether that be physical products. So fun fact, I for a while was either going to create like a gut drink. So wow, look, Poppy. But like that was going to be a thing. I still haven't forgotten about it, but I'm very fascinated about like just food science. So how things kind of come together. I just love the arts and expression and creativity. Technology always has my heart. And I think particularly just the cool and exciting things. I'd also probably just talk about the things that are interesting to me. So manufacturing has become like a thing that I'm really starting to kind of just get into. So I think those would probably be a few of those, a few of the things. That was a great question. So, even we're all learning about ourselves. I was like, I like this. It was good. But yeah, actually since you threw it to me, I'm going to throw it back to you and also to chat too. So double whammy. Chat, let us know what would we learn about you on our personal section. All right, Alex, over to you.
For sure. I think it depends on like when I was doing this because things shift through time. But
oh my God.
Things I would definitely talk about is like you can see there's like a lot of books behind me, right? There's all these books. And I love to read. You'll see right here, there's 2 of the same book, and that's because one of those is signed by Jeff Tweedy, and that's his memoir. That's the lead singer of Wilco, as you can see right there, Wilco. I would talk about Wilco, my favorite band, which I have a lot of Wilco things. I specifically like to read sci-fi and fantasy. At chat, anyone reading anything fun, love to hear about it. And then I've been doing improv recently, and that's been a really big part of my life. So I'd probably talk about that, both the improv that I'm doing and like what I'm learning from it. And then also the silly stuff on the internet that I like to watch. Parenting is a big part of my life right now. And there's different aspects of that too, right? Because like she changes this is why I said it changes with time. Like every few weeks, it's totally new and different. There's something new happening. So yeah, I think those are, and I love to cook. I do love to cook. That would be a big one.
Yeah. Okay. Lots of, See, we're all exciting people. You know, there are things beyond, like, I think sometimes like we can get kind of tripped up around like, well, what will I talk about? You know, we're just regular people. We're exciting folks. Like, come on. Like, so I think, I guess I say all this to say, right? Like, being on stream or being on any kind of video content, like, just be yourself. And I know that sounds so cliche, but like, you'd be surprised how interesting you are. So everyone here probably has like something interesting about themselves. And I think like really leaning into, you're probably more interesting than you think. I promise you're not boring. Unless like 15 million people, unless a lot of people have told you you're boring, maybe you might have a sprinkle of boringness, but I doubt that. You're probably more interesting than you think.
If you didn't have a sprinkle of boringness, that would be a hard life.
That's
you
true.
Got to stop doing stuff sometimes.
That's true.
And I think this goes back to one of the core things that scare people. And so like, I remember when Brandon Hawkins was coming on the show, he's like, wait, are we really going to talk for 2 hours? Like, how are we going to do that? Because this is Twilio sponsored, run, whatever. And it's a work thing. People assume that we're going to be talking tech and the thing that you're working on for 2 hours. And it's going to be 2 hours you talk. And even with the champions, it's like, oh, you're going to have to demo something for 2 hours. That would be crazy. I don't want to demo something for 2 hours. So I think what we're trying to say is like, we break it up with the human aspect and anyone can have a conversation. Like we can sit down and talk for 30 minutes, an hour, no problem. And when you break it up with that personal stuff, that's how these things go for 2 hours. It's not somebody has to go and perform for 2 hours. That would be so exhausting.
No, yeah. There's one day on a stream, we're coming very unprepared. And then Brent was like, what did you do this week? What did you do? What are you excited about? And I was like, wow. And then I was like, wow, it reminds me of just like being on a date. You know, like just, and dating doesn't always have to be hyper romantic, but just like the simplicity of conversation, the simplicity of like flowing through a thing. And it was so funny because we were so focused on like segments and all these things that were like, wow, there's so much delight in our day to day. And I think like, I also want to emphasize that, right, for anyone watching, which is there's so much delight and excitement and just stuff, right, on your journey. How do you kind of meld that all together? And it might just it'll just come on stream, right? So I think like kind of going back into that, like that aspect of finding different pieces along your journey. So, you know, that is definitely a thing.
It's also about finding the things people are comfortable talking about, right? And so when there's like stuff that's a little bit touchy, like I remember we did one interview with a founder, and they were talking about how their child had some developmental challenges, and like we heard that in the pre-interview, and we're like, hey, is that something you're open to talking about? And then they were like, oh yeah, that's a big part of the story. Like we can go in there. And I think a part of this whole journey too is we don't want to like spring something on you and make you talk about something you're uncomfortable about, but like we want a little bit of vulnerability as long as you know it's coming and you're like, you know, I think there's a balance there that we're trying to strike. But
oh, absolutely. And also this is still on the internet forever. Joking. Not at all. But it's still on the internet. So of course we understand the kind of, you still want to feel a little polished and stuff, but I always say, use it to your advantage, leverage this space just as, you know, like leverage this space for what you need. So I hope you didn't think, y'all, that we forgot about sponsored, not sponsored. You know, we switched up some things, but we didn't forget about our dear friends. Sponsored, not sponsored. Okay, so I feel like I could start. I could start. because we'll go on a little journey. So
yeah,
I'm gonna start off with our old friend Stanley.
Hey Stan.
Stan comes back to us after doing some massive home organizing. I was like, wow, I totally forgot I had this Stanley because it was hidden in my lovely cabinets. So that was my first sponsor, not sponsored. I didn't remember how much I appreciated getting, what is this, 40 ounces? Okay, yeah. Okay, 40 ounces of water. The other not sponsored, not sponsored. So there's this thing called, what is it? Perfect Aminos. They have these bars. I'm really digging them. I'm gonna find a little Perfect Amino. Okay, great. Perfect Amino bars. You're gonna help. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Alex is helping me out here. So Perfect Amino bars. The flavor that I had, I think I had the like blondie version. So good. Y'all know I've been on my fiber kick. Okay, so it has some amount of fiber, so it's great. But I don't know, it was better than I expected. Perfect Amino also makes a lot of good, just like protein related things. So shout out to that. And then lastly, because clearly this week, we're on a health kick. Symbiotica, vitamin C. I don't know if you can see it. One day we'll get here. Symbiotica, vitamin C. So that's another. Oh, yep. All right. Oh, no. Oh, okay. Nope. We'll get there one day. But it looks like this. Okay. It's vitamin C. You got to make sure the immune system is great. We're prioritizing wellness and health. So yeah, it's pretty good and highly recommend. So thank you for joining me on Bianca's section of the sponsored, not sponsored. So yeah,
Lovely.
lots of stuff going on. Alex, what are you bringing for us today?
I'm going to get simple. Sponsor, not sponsored. The ocean. I went to go on vacation last week. I don't know where this is. I just found this YouTube video and it's very nice and relaxing. Went to Costa Rica and it was just so nice to be in the ocean. I find it like really relaxing and rejuvenating to literally just be in the water. I got to scuba dive one day. We went on a boat. It was a really nice, gentle beach that we were on. So my daughter got to play in the waves a little bit, even though she's only 2, and she got to play in the sand. So, we say touch grass sometimes. I think we also got to say like touch water. Sometimes I think we just got to touch water. Yeah, if you, I know I was very privileged to go to a very nice vacation destination, but I think anywhere there's water, I think it's valuable. And then just because you did a bunch, I feel like I need to do more too. But I didn't have a second one, but I've got this entire rack behind me. So I just
you said the books. We always said So I think just find the nearest book, roll and grab a book.
No, not the nearest, but I'm going to find one that I really love. And I got it already. I don't think I did this one yet.
You haven't? Okay.
I don't know. Maybe.
All right. So I like the different flavors. Okay, so what is your book rec?
Ted Chiang has 2 books of short stories.
Okay.
Exhalation is the second one. The first one was Stories of Our Lives. And he, as a writer, I don't know. I feel like very slow writer. Like there's other writers I love, like Brandon Sanderson, who writes epic amounts. Ted Chiang's prose are very nearly perfect. And he thinks through his everything so well. Stories of Our Lives specifically is the short story that the movie Arrival is based on.
Okay.
Very cool movie. His stuff is so thought-provoking. It's so well written. It literally feels like there's not a word out of place. It's so great. Sorry, I'm going to pull up Stephen Nicks because he's got a great one. This is also Adrian Tchaikovsky's Children of Time.
Okay.
Adrian Tchaikovsky, I think I'm pronouncing his name right, is probably my favorite sci-fi author right now. Children of Time is great. The next book, Children of Ruin, was really nice. I didn't love the third book in the series. I don't know, Stephen, if you read his Final Architect series. I think that's what the name was. It was great. Adrian Chayek, this particular author that Stephen Nick, a different author, is talking about. I have never seen anybody be in the mind of an alien better. Like, it's truly, truly, truly amazing how like realistic it feels for you to be like, oh, there's like sentient spiders, but they're not just like people that happen to have 8 legs. They have a full different society. They think different. They have trouble communicating with humans because of it. In his Final Architecture series, there's a bunch of different aliens that are all interacting with humans, and none of them really understand each other that well. And that's like a part of the subtext. And it's such a difference to like, I'm just going to go deep in sci-fi right now, 'cause you got me on a soapbox.
We're here.
It's different than, who's the guy who wrote The Martian and Project Hail Mary? I can't remember his name, but really engaging, entertaining books. But the one big knock on like Project Hail Mary was that there's like an alien involved, and like within 10,
Andy Weir.
Yeah, Andrew Weir. And he like very quickly like just totally like understands this alien, and like a lot of people couldn't suspend their doubt. They're like, there's no way that just like in a few days one dude is able to like totally solve communication between an alien species that communicates in a totally different way. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And I really appreciate that Adrian Tchaikovsky doesn't do that. He sits there and says, hey, we're probably not going to be able to communicate. And look, there's probably a lot of parallels to that in cultures in the world that we don't think about because it's a little more subtle. But thank you, Stephen.
Love it.
That's another book I love. Project Hail Mary is your jumping point to Children of Time. They both involve weird spiders, so I hear you. Like every book I've read by the author of Children of Time, Adrian Tchaikovsky, has been great. They're weird. Okay. They're out there. You gotta be okay with an entire book from the perspective of like a cyborg bear. Like, that's one of them, or cyborg dog.
But at least we know, at least we know. No, that was good. No, this is exciting. I like the addition of books on sponsored, not sponsored.
You figured out what I can talk for a long time about.
Alex, I don't know. I couldn't imagine. No, this is good. This is good. Who knows? Maybe in the future we'll have our book club segment. We'll add that to the stream. Okay, before we kind of switch it on over, what we had a ask in chat. So I wanted to do our surfacing randomness from chat. So you never know what chat message will go across the stream today. Who am I gonna bring up that had a chat edition? All right. Random chat. Just gonna scroll through. I don't have an answer for this, but if anyone does anyone?
Let's read it. Weird side question before everything starts. Does anyone have a good recommendation for in-ear wireless headphones? I have tried Bose earbuds that were great and having nothing earbuds, but they wouldn't stay in. I'm gonna be honest. I got the ones that were like recommended on Wirecutter. Okay. I forget which ones they are specifically. Hold on, I can figure it out really quick. Soundcore Space A40s. They're super comfortable. They fall out. I don't like. I feel like I need to find ones the next time that like wrap around the ear. I feel like this is a Brent question, as Brent put there.
It might be.
Sounds like a me question. So, Chef, if you want to do the legwork here and throw out a recommendation, or maybe this is a stream for you later, I'm curious too.
This might be a segment. So you never know which questions we might pull from chat to answer, whether it's on stream or in the future. So maybe this might be a segment that you randomly see on YouTube, in-ear headphones, and all that great jazz. Yeah. So thank you for the question. Okay.
I will say, you have them in right now. I feel like that if you're an Apple person, the AirPods are pretty solid.
The AirPods are really for me, but not the pros. The AirPod OGs to me are just really my speakers, just so I don't get feedback from stuff. Like, it just, I'm definitely an over the I like the headphone popper.
Brent had me get these. These are very nice for the over the ear with a cord so that I can be really fancy and
all the things.
Ooh, chef's going for it. You have a budget target?
These are the important questions. Okay, so at the top of the hour, when we started, we said we were going to talk about something, and we're going to talk about Twilio Video.
Twilio Video.
Twilio Video. It's the video from
Twilio. Here's how I know that Bianca, you, me, and Sarah are just so ahead of the curve. We the three of us were together in New York last October, and we were all in a lift together, and we were, I don't know, talking Twilio stuff in general. And I don't remember which one of it was. We're like, why is video gone? We're like, they should have kept video. And like the next day, there's an announcement, Twilio Video is coming back. It never really left. It just stopped being supported for a minute. But then we brought it back, and it's a cool product, and it's such a core, like, we're doing it right now. We're face to face. We're seeing each other. And I think that's a special part of customer experience and customer engagement. I don't think it's for everything, and I don't think it's the only thing, but I think it's like a really core part. Like, my wife is in telehealth, and the company that she used to work for was all built on Twilio Video. And like, that's how they interact with customers. And there's something special about seeing someone's face.
Yeah. I think when we think about like messaging, right? Like how we talk, we talk about voice being such a core component, but I do feel like video is how we like visuals, right? Is how we interact, seeing people, kind of these images, right? Like we've become from photos. I think photos were a huge component, but like to now being on video, I think video is just so core to this like experience of conversation. So I think that to me was just like, I think that to me is just kind of like, there's video, it's video's time. It's videos. The irony though of on top of the banner was like Twilio built the video star. I thought that was there's like a
here
replay. Yeah, the irony. We promise we did not just add that. So
no, this was a webinar. So this is a great resource. I'm gonna actually share this because or we'll share the non-UTM version because whatever. I'm gonna share this here because if you are like want to dive deeper into video, then we're gonna get on this screen even. This is a great place to start. So this was a level up. This was Andrew's first level up, and we did it together. And wait, I gotta just see if I can pull it up because here I'm gonna take this off for a second and pull up the video this way. But there's a reason that I'm doing this, so just give me one moment. And
no, you're good. No, you're all good. No, yeah, I think I was like the timing that like the video content. So I think we're definitely kind of getting more and more resources around video, but I think overall, like it's an exciting time for video. I'm kind of curious, chat, have any of y'all kind of played around with video? Are you excited? Are you not excited about video? All comments are welcomed. So I'm kind of curious, chat, like your connection point to video. Let us know.
I'm also curious what if you've had any experiences with a like video customer service that was really interesting. Like I think telehealth is a great example. Steven, I'm going to ask, Steven's at Twilio. Are you like a video guy at Twilio? I actually don't know what specific products you work on, but
but even with the bias, I am also curious, like what about it for you? Oh, awesome. Wow, Steven, we should have given you a ring. I am kind of curious from someone who kind of sees the capabilities and possibilities. Like, what are you most excited about as it relates to video? So feel free to add that in chat. Thank you. No, I'm putting you to
that is bias then officially.
Oh, extra bias. We welcome the bias. Okay. So yes. Were you able to?
Yeah, I was. I had to go to a different spot though.
Okay.
Why is it not letting me play it? This is frustrating.
Well,
I might not be able to.
All good. Well, that's more incentive for y'all to click through.
What I was trying to, I'll click through stuff. The reason I was doing it is because it was the first. Andrew and I are a little dangerous together, and we basically both decided that we were going to do a bit because it was called Twilio built the video star. We were like, and so we both came out in like wigs as like rock stars, and it was a fun moment. But yet the demo was all about knitting. Anyways, back to
video.
Yeah.
Back to video. So, okay, we talked a little bit about like, okay, why video? Mm-hmm. So I am like, let's kind of explore, right? Because we're going through this. Say you're a person who's never kind of interacted with video from a Twilio standpoint. Yeah. Like, what can this do? So let's kind of explore what are we looking for when we're looking for a good video tool?
Yeah, I think the key about Twilio video is like, it's not, if you just like need to get up and running, like, look, you're going to probably go use something like Zoom, or like if you're running webinars, we use Big Marker, right? We don't, we use the tools because people have built so much stuff out. But if you're building something where you need video as a component in your app, or you're building a whole experience around video, like this is a fundamental API. So like have you guys ever seen those like conference alternatives where you like have a little avatar and you like run around a little space virtually? And then I think like one of them is called like gather.town. And I don't know if this is specifically the one that I'm thinking of. But yeah, so like gather.town, I don't know if this one specifically uses Twilio video, but I remember talking to somebody who did something similar that did use Twilio video. And so it's like you run around with these like little, it looks like Pokemon, right? Like this like 8-bit style. You run around, and then if you're close to somebody, you can get into a video call with them. And that was Twilio video popping up. So there was an experience that they were creating where you don't want to have to like send somebody out to Zoom. You just need that video baked into your app, and that's where Twilio really shines, because it can do those things. Same thing with like a lot of telehealth. If you want someone to make a call from within your app, that's where you would use Twilio video for it.
That's a good call out. Okay. All right. So let's see. Okay, so we have rooms. Rooms are it's the core. Okay.
Yeah, so you have rooms, and you can put people in rooms, and there are capacity limits here. And there's different ways to create rooms. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a heads up. I actually haven't built much with video. So we're going to all learn together.
We're learning together. Yeah. That's the beautiful part. Okay. So we have rooms, and then the back. Okay.
The components of a Twilio video app.
Okay.
Yeah. So, maybe we need to get Steven on here to do a deeper dive into video for us one day, but,
I know.
So there's an API, but most people would use like either the JavaScript SDK or the iOS or Android SDKs to build directly into this. And then there's like all these components, like, the access token server, which is how you control who can get in. There's video rooms, which are like the places that people go. And then there's a front end interface, which is like how it all looks. You know where I'm actually going to go though? Because I think this will be an easier way to get through this, which is we have these quick start apps, and I'm just going to build one. Does that sound like a good plan right now?
I think that is a good call. A good
call
out. Let's see. Okay.
Wait, there we go. Okay.
Boom.
Yeah.
All right.
I wonder is Steven, did you contribute here? Are you one of these names? I have no idea who contributed.
I don't know. You don't even know the Steven icon. I see Phil's face. Am I tripping?
We got Phil Nash, who's gonna be at Signal.
Oh
yeah. Kevin Winery. Maybe I hope he comes to Signal. That'd be fun to see him.
Yeah.
Cool. So This is the thing.
Okay.
I feel like I was looking at a different one. Hold on, let me go back 1 second, because
Okay.
or maybe this is the one I want to do.
Maybe.
Oh, the
Potentially.
React demo is also nice. Let me look
Okay.
at that.
We're gonna check that out. Thank you. Thank you, Steven.
Twilio. I feel like my Twilio. Oh, I'm in Twilio. Okay. Video app React.
Boom.
Cool.
All right. Steven, are you a
Steven, are
contributor
you Space
here?
Ghost? No, you're not. Okay.
Nope. Sorry. Are you Space Ghost? It's always so funny whenever you're like asking people their digital names. You're like, wait, are you? So like my name's on a lot of things was like B Lori, and like, are you B Lori? And I was like, yeah, who's asking?
Did you are you one of those people who like their screen name was like your first and middle name?
I just like it because it allowed me to delineate and know like who knew me versus who knew my online persona.
It took me a minute to learn when I first started dating her, my wife's last name, because on all of her profiles it was her middle name. It was her first and middle name.
So that's how I trip people up. I'm like, do you know me? Do you know my real name? And I was like, okay, just like that. That sounds so intense. All right, back to React.
Let's see if I've got Node installed, because they're gonna tell if we can even do this. I haven't used this computer for stuff in a while. We're gonna update that later.
Great.
Do I have? Okay, I got Node, and then it needs npm, which would be faster, but I think I have npm on here.
Okay.
Sweet. So we got the prerequisites. So let's do the thing. Let's get cloned.
Wow. Okay, fantastic.
Wow. And we have an app here. Well, it's cloning.
Wow.
I love this stuff.
Come on.
We could have also probably just opened a code space, forked it, and made a code space, but this is okay.
We're just going through the process.
We're
fine.
npm install, always a good command.
Okay. Okay.
npm install. This might take a few minutes, but we can.
All right. We'll be here. Okay, so the React demo app is nice. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm wondering why we'll see why. Are there things that we would what is it? What would you want to build with like video? Chat, let us know too.
Yeah, I want to know what chat would build. And I'm like trying to think like the things that I would build with it. I've been thinking a lot about like really high-end white glove, like customer support or like concierge style things.
Okay.
But I generally think texting and WhatsApp is really great for that, because I don't always need to talk to somebody. I just need to like ask a question and get an answer back.
Oh my gosh.
But like, what are things that like looking at something is helpful?
So one thing with video that's interesting. So I feel like people sometimes insert video in the not so great places. So like I was doing a survey for the little tangent. I was doing a survey for Delta, right? And randomly in it's survey, then it's like share a video of your thoughts. And I was like, I'm literally like on my phone like this. And like I don't want to take I don't want to take like a video of me being like this on my phone. So I was like, I see where you're going with the video thing, but like let's not. So I think not inserting where can you insert video into the experience? So I think sometimes it's like, what do I want to build with video versus where can video be inserted in an experience? So whether that is like, okay, I'm having a one-to-one conversation, or I want to build something with a friend, or you know what I mean? Oh my God. Okay, this might be a little crazy.
Get crazy.
What if we like put, I feel like a meme slideshow on the big screen, like really, really just like, I don't know. There's something there. Those are some of my favorite those are some of my favorite visuals. Some good like memes or GIFs.
Hi, Tofrog. That's a funny one. Tofrog said that's always a great place to start. Chris has done a lot of like Forge events or not Forge, Developer Innovation Lab, where he was like almost doing a design thinking process and like, where does it make sense to add these things is always such a good place to start. I actually thought of a one We recently got to talk to is Jason Kerr. Yeah, that was his name, right? The CEO of Spokephone.
Yep.
And one of their customers is a big furniture retailer. And they told this really cool story about how if you call the main line for this customer retailer and you had been in a store and they knew you were in the store, they would patch you right to the person that you had been talking to in the store. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. I love that. And so one of the things I was thinking about is like, how cool would it be if like it was really easy to then be like, hey, click this link. Let's make this a video call, and now I can show you the furniture that you're looking at. I think that'd be a nice experience.
That's another good one too. I think a lot of video sometimes can be used as like, support. Like kind of support is usually the place, but I'm kind of curious, like, what are some other fun? I'm not saying support isn't fun. Yay, support. Okay. I'm not saying support isn't fun, but I am kind of curious the other playful ways of using video that are also, I know people used to watch, like they would watch videos together. So yeah, that could be a thing.
Oh yeah, and you can do that there because you can share a video. Sweet, I think it worked.
Okay, cool.
I have vulnerabilities, but that's fine. There's some notices, but I think it ran. Okay, cool.
Okay.
We're moving.
Okay. We're getting somewhere.
Tofrog also says video room security becomes a big thing on the dev side, which makes a lot of sense. Like you got to make sure that, you think about the whole, do you remember Zoom bombing when that became a thing? Where it's like, you had to start putting passwords on everything. It's a
little traumatizing.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna hold you. It was an era.
I don't. Let's skip the noise cancellation. I don't think we need to do that because I don't want to get a license for the Chris plugin. But
okay,
I hope that's not required. We'll see. I have Twilio CLI. I'm logged in. Let me just make sure. Let's see which Twilio account. Though I love the Twilio CLI, by the way.
We also had a good comment, like even what is it? Going back into like the security piece, like you don't want people dropping in, which is a very good point. And then there's also the aspect around like, controlling your access tokens. So those
I think I'm on a good one.
Okay.
Let's install the RTC plugin.
Cool.
Quick, Bianca, what's your favorite Twilio CLI plugin?
That you're putting me on the spot, man.
yeah. Quick chat, what's your favorite Twilio CLI plugin? I know mine.
Clearly, because it was top of your mind. I was like, I might, on any given moment, I'm thinking about like what I'm eating, my food, my snacks. I was like, I'm thinking this is like Twilio Inception. But anyways, how would you answer that question?
Dev phone. Twilio dev phone is mine.
Okay. You do love a good dev phone.
I love a good dev phone. I love the CLI. The webhooks plugin. So one easily reproducible webhook sent to your endpoint to test signature validation. Ooh, I usually am like on the flip side of webhooks because I'm usually trying to get webhooks to like see what the webhook looks like and then kind of like go from there. But so I use things like webhook.site to like figure out what the webhook looks like. I'm trying to pull up the page, but I'm having a little Twitch froze on me, which is fine. So it goes. Twitch freezes every once in a blue moon. Anyways, yeah. So I'm gonna have to explore that, Steven. Thanks for sharing that plugin. Okay, I think we're good. We got the
Steven is keeping us hip today.
Yeah,
this is good.
You want to come on stream at some point, Steven? You into it?
Steven, you don't have a choice. We did clearly we just did. I don't know that you know this. We're just gonna add something to your cal, okay? And yeah, great. Fantastic. Okay, over to you. Hip
with the lingo. So now we're gonna deploy with the Twilio CLI. I already did that Twilio profile list and made sure that I'm on the one that I want to be on. Actually, I'm going to switch accounts now that I think about it.
Okay.
Sweet. So I'm going to list my profiles out, and we're going to use the T4S, which is Twilio for startups.
Twilio for startups. Okay, Steven is shy. So, well, maybe can we rent a bot from Brent?
Yeah.
No? Let us know, Chef Brent. Can we rent a bot from you? Possibly? Great. So maybe that could be an option. Maybe we can build out a bot. Well, for our shy guests. So maybe they don't want to be on the stream, but they can be rent a bot. Yeah, great.
I think it's a good move.
I like where I'm going with this, because it's just like we want to make sure everyone feels comfortable on the show. And sometimes you might not be yourself. Even though we said being your my god. I was like,
I didn't know you meant this kind of bot. My brain is in 3 different places, and I thought you were talking about a chat bot. And I was like, that's different. That's a different thing.
Well, Brent, you get very specific. I'd be like, what is like hyper specific? I was a video. What do you call that? Use the correct term.
Vlog, I think, like a.
It's like
VCast?
a
VTuber. Yeah, VTuber.
VTuber. Okay, great. So maybe that'll be a guest option. But because don't they do like faceless Instagrams or faceless? I don't know.
You could. There's something we could do. We could just do a profile picture kind of thing with like an audiograph kind of. I don't know. That won't work here in StreamYard, but we can figure something out.
Okay, what about the weird like Apple face things?
Oh yeah. Oh, those feel
that might
weird
be
to me because they move like this. They move. They move like.
Anyways, I did not mean to derail. I just wanted to say, like, I'm not like, my brain is screwed back on. You meant this bot. That's cool. I dig it. I dig it.
Great. So you see, Steven, we did all these things to figure out options. So great. Just let us know when you'll be joining us to talk more about video. Fantastic. Great. Okay, so back.
So what have we done so far? I just want to step back because I feel like we've just been doing it in the background. So we first pulled the repository. We pulled this repository, we cloned it, and then we installed all the dependencies. So this is like the cool stuff that npm node package manager does to get everything that you need into the package. And then we installed we had the Twilio CLI already, but you would install the Twilio CLI. And then we use the Twilio CLI because we're logged in through the Twilio CLI command line interface to our Twilio account. And then we use that with this RTC plugin to then push the deploy the Twilio CLI into our Twilio account. So now, if I were to go into this, I don't need to run this because this would override and create another one. Now, if I were to go into my Twilio account, I would see a bunch of functions deployed that would be from this. And we can go look at that in a minute, but I want to see what this does. So view the URL and passcode for the video app with that link. Whoopsies, too many things happening. There we go. So let's see.
We're trying to think. I'm trying to think. Did chat let us know? I'm gonna ask this in chat again.
I should have done that again. I just ran the deploy command again. I hope that doesn't break anything. I'm just gonna stop it.
Well, we'll see. Should build today. I think we should build.
Okay.
It makes sense in my brain. What do you think, chat? What do you think we should build? It seems very wordy, but we'll figure it out. Okay. So what do you think that you were breaking? What did you just do?
Just one moment. Whoa.
Okay. Brief.
What I accidentally hit paste and deployed it again.
Oh, okay.
So instead of just running the app and seeing what it's going to tell me, I need to update my CLI. Oh, so, okay. This is my passcode.
Okay.
And then this is this will follow the link. That'll just take me right there.
Follow the lead.
We'll just copy it and we'll put it here.
Okay. Do you need to move away from anything?
No, I don't think so. I mean, if someone wants to really come into this video room, Alex, and not all caps.
Stream. Oh.
Let's allow all
Did we
visiting the site.
Wait,
What?
you already created something.
Yeah, no, that's the joy of these quick deploys is you don't have to start from scratch.
Oh my gosh.
So this is my other camera, so you guys can see the other part of my room. So if I hit join
lighting.
now.
Great lighting.
You. So we're there. So now we're seeing me Inception. Bianca, I'm gonna go ahead and take myself off there. And I'm gonna Slack you really quick the link. And if you go there on one of your computers, you'll be able to join this too. And like, this is the cool part about video. Now we'll go through the code in a minute and see what's actually happening here. But it's the thing I love about a lot of this really quick deploys is it's there for you to build with. Like you don't have to start from scratch, right? If I was to build an app, it'd be so much nicer to start from this place and copy what code I need and do all those things than to try to start from scratch and like follow the docs and do it. I learn by building things this way. There's just so many cameras I can look at. You guys see.
What is it? What is it? A/B testing Treem. You didn't write Treem.
No, I misspelled it.
Okay.
I don't know if I can edit it.
Hold on. All right, let's see. Do you see me?
No.
Oh, what's happening? Oh, well, it's like, all right. Well,
are you in your own room?
So that's the thing. So I'm in a room because it didn't. Oh gosh, see where? So what it does, it's like it gives me the same page that you had.
Oh.
So it's like it'll be like join a room, and then it's like your name, room name.
I wonder if there's. Let's see if in the thing there's. Oh, where was I? It was on GitHub. Let's see if there's like a way to delete the app.
Okay. Unless
I deploy the React app and token server, generate the random code, print the URL for the app and the passcode.
Okay, hold on. What was the exact
Gotta put the same room name IIRC.
Okay. Let's see.
If I remember correctly, there you go. So I'm here. What I'm gonna do? We're gonna like. Whoa, whoops! Okay. I'm too many places. Let's. I'm gonna disconnect here, and I'm gonna do it again, and I'm just gonna create the rooms. Just gonna be it's just gonna be lowercase ab, easy.
Okay. Room name AB. Great.
Let's see if that works.
Join.
There we go. Look at that.
Hi.
Oh my God. I hear so many of you.
That's so cool. We're live.
So
that all angles.
That's kind of the joy of like a lot of the Twilio quick deploy apps is like you're not starting from scratch. And I love that. So, okay. We have an app working. That's cool. Look at that.
Thank you, Steven.
Yeah.
Thanks for reminding. Okay, this is cool. All right, so we have an app working. So then where do we want to go with this, right? Like where do we
Let's look at the code. Let's peek through the code and see what that looks like. So I'll say goodbye to you over here, Bianca, because we're talking over here. And then I can focus.
Yep. But hold on, I'm just like going back to like the quick deploy and the ease and the quickness of just like, once you're like, okay, I have a little momentum. It's like, okay, like let's get into the weeds. Like, how do we want to customize this? Like, I think that's such an underrated aspect of building with Twilio.
Yeah. And I don't know what we're going to totally find here. I don't know how they exactly set this up, but I actually want to look really quick. I'm going to log into, I'm going to take a moment off screen to log into Twilio account and see what they have going on in the functions. Cause I'm kind of curious there. But I'm just going to log into my Twilio account without all y'all watching.
Very important.
Yeah.
Dang. I wasn't trying to, Chef Brent, when you said, think about, can you actually, Brent, I might actually put you on stream for a moment. All right. Think about all you just did. All right. The chefs of the Brents, if you desire to join us on stream.
Yeah,
Can you
look,
tell me
I think
why does that feel exciting?
I think
to you?
reflecting on what you're able to accomplish with doing almost nothing there is like a valuable reflection point, because this stuff, especially if you are trying to implement this without Twilio video, is so complicated. I beg you at some point to go read what you have to implement to get a WebRTC application working, even just for audio, let alone video, participants and rooms, and it's super complicated. Even the like the token server to get the token that allows you to connect to that room was a whole video on YouTube, like I've done a few times. It's, you know, you are deploying a lot of code in that one fell swoop of using a code exchange quick deploy. And if you find a thing that you're looking to get started with on Twilio and there's a code exchange quick deploy, it is honestly one of the best places to get started. I think I did a few code exchange quick deploy YouTube videos called Up and Running, if you search on our Twilio Devs YouTube. But like I find them super approachable, and then when you go look at the code's been written by somebody who knew what they were doing. If you want to pull the functions up, like we can take a peek. But it's like I think it's awesome that we have those kind of resources to get you started with stuff that's very complex. And I think we can very easily gloss over the like, look at all you did, look at all you were able to get up and running. Like, look at the token function, for instance. Like, it's not super complicated, but if you don't know what you're doing,
I've never done
this
that before.
alone, getting this alone working is, you know, a whole thing, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I loved. So when we did the level up with Sarah and she built an app. She started from this she didn't start from nothing. She started from this quick deploy, and then she customized the look and feel of the app in a really cool way. And I think that just like it saves so much time to not have to reinvent the wheel every time. And sure, this is definitely in some ways a little different now with like you could ask AI to build this for you, but like, you know, how far are you going to get as opposed to like starting from this place and then maybe using AI from here to help you or whatnot. This is why I loved learning to code back in the day on Ruby on Rails, because there was a gem for everything, and there was a demo, there was an example for everything, and you would install the example and set it up, and then you would break it a little bit at a time until you got it to where you wanted it to be. And that always really worked for me as a way of building things.
And learn it. I appreciate you just kind of sharing that, Brent, because it's like I do feel like a lot of the stuff Twilio does, we make it so easy. Well, like we've simplified these things that are pretty complex and complicated, and I don't think people understand like the technical, like what it takes technically to kind of spin that up that quickly. Like literally, Alex and I are in 2 different states. We are like literally just through some code, we just were able to hop on a video call that
absolutely
just kind of spun up.
WebRTC is, oh man, especially this room-based video stuff is like, I looked into it when video came out, when it first came out, and like there were blog posts that are like, this is what we're simplifying for you, and it's still complex. If you're hand rolling this, even with Twilio video, it's still complicated, but it's nowhere near as complicated if you were working with the WebRTC primitives themselves. Just a lot to have to understand and keep in mind. Where here you can just concentrate on the fact that I'm gonna have the participants in this room. This is what I want the layout to be, and Twilio takes care of all of the really complicated stuff under the hood with this SDK.
I mean, that's the value proposition at the end of the day, right? Like just enough so you can build what you need to build. I just realized there's virtual backgrounds.
Woo!
Speaking of oceans.
The ocean. I feel like that was my background for a while on like my personal computer. Also Steven had shared a resource in terms of pre-call diagnostics. So that is
to make sure that if you're having connectivity issues.
Yeah, which is very important. Okay, so we have some backgrounds. What we got? Can you excuse me, are you able to add your own?
Probably. I bet you could code it in. Let's figure out where that would be, because these live somewhere, right? And if you go, the reason I figured out we had backgrounds is because I was poking around
in the functions,
and there's all of these there's all these pictures, and I'm like, what are all these pictures doing here?
And then you're like, it's probably background. So then, then I wonder, you probably could add your own background.
Let's see if we could. Well, so I think I saw so there's a virtual background. This.
Okay.
This is just the licensing agreements. So this is like saying what the blur filter is going to be and the blur radius.
So much goes into a background. Who knew?
Yeah, this is basically taking all the. I think this is. No, I don't think that's what that does. I'm trying to figure out where it pulls all the images, because I wonder if they're hard coded or if it's just let's look for static.
Oh, gotcha.
Static media.
It seems like it might be. They
I'm gonna look on the
docs.
I'm gonna look in the code itself.
Okay.
Because I think it might just be easier to look through. I don't know where exactly it would be. Components. No, it's not gonna be components. I don't know this. Well,
we're just gonna peruse around.
Yeah.
Just gonna.
This is our index.
Okay.
It probably isn't in here. Why don't we just search? Search for background. There's background icons. That's not what we're looking for, though.
Nope.
Wait, what? I just want to search for backgrounds. So we got background icons, thumbnails, select dialogue.
Yeah, I'm not seeing.
It might be this.
Oh.
Yeah, so here we go.
Yep. Okay. Where was that? Can you?
This is so video provider use background settings.
Okay. So it was, you were close.
So this is basically saying, okay, this is where you're going to pull the thumbnail and the image for each one. So my hunch is you could just add one here, but I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Oh no, you'd have to import it into the file and then add it here. I don't know if that would be enough to add. I don't know if that's all you need. But they're more or less hard coded.
Okay.
I'm sure there's a way to a potentially way to iterate through them, but it looks like they're in this used background settings.ts
so you got some
video provider thing. I don't know. They might be somewhere else too, but and then the question is where are the images? Oh, here. I bet the images are here. Yeah, so we've got thumbnails, which is going to be the smaller image of them, and then the bigger one.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Boho home. I have some shares, not white, but similar style to those.
Similar kind of vibe. Are you going for boho chic?
Yeah, we got a little boho chic.
Okay.
So I suppose you could update these, and I think that would do it for you.
Okay.
Yes, they're being deployed to assets. So once these things are here, there's clearly a script that is deploying these to assets here. So you'll see static media, there's the boho home, and I bet there's a whole there's probably somewhere where these are all living as both thumbnails and pictures, but maybe not.
I think they're being deployed to assets.
Yeah, so they're here in the assets.
Yep. Okay, so all right, so we just explored. So we built something. We just explored some of the backgrounds where they live. What else? What else have we seen?
Well, I think like the other thing here that I just want to like peek at too. Oh, and I'll
Okay.
do it here is so like there's also just like there was a main page that was like this is the like this is what we're hitting when you're doing it. So like if you were taking this, you could change this look and feel. You could do a lot of different things to like change like what the web page that someone's seeing is, like what the login is, which is pretty cool because those would be somewhere, you know. I don't know what themes are. I don't know TypeScript that well, so like I don't unfortunately, like I haven't used React a bunch, so I don't understand exactly how it's structured. But you know, there's like, I think somebody who would have worked on this a little bit would probably have a better idea. But I don't know all these things, but I'll get there.
We're exploring.
We're just exploring.
You know, the same way someone would just, you know,
we're just A/B testing.
Duh.
Yeah.
It's all the energy here.
You know what I also appreciate here? I just want to point this out. They have Circle CLI, so they're doing, or Circle CI, so they're doing continuous integration. They have the test built. Like that's one of the hardest parts about this. And our team decided, it was like, we're going to build tests for you too. That's awesome. So
like,
kind.
Oh, so thoughtful. Thank you, Twilio teams.
Yeah.
Thank you, Twilio video.
Yeah, this is just cool stuff. I appreciate that, like, this is all here. And like, as Brent said, like this now, you know, if somebody, this would be so much easier to do than build it out yourself. Serverless deployment usually takes files in specific directories as functions and assets. That may be a part of a build script to move the background to a specific location before deploying. Yeah. So I'm sure there's something in the build script. Because this is what they're using to deploy it. This script. And so there's probably something in here that stores the picture of the place you want. Although I don't know. I haven't done a lot of this. I was trying to write one quick deploy app at one point, and back when Dom was at Twilio, and I'm like, hey Dom, how do I do this? He's like, what's the repo? And then like he's like, give me 10 minutes. And then he's like, okay, it's there. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, I just built the npm install for you. I was like, oh my God, it's amazing. So I've never done it before.
You're like just figuring it out. One thing, no, yeah. Okay. So all right. So you explored video, like how, so you've gotten your feet wet. We're getting our feet wet here. What were some takeaways as a person who just like, all right, this is your getting your feet wet with video?
If I knew what I wanted to build, like if I had that idea, this is 100% where I would start. And I would start I would probably just use the Node or the JavaScript SDK version because I don't have as much experience with React. I would maybe use this as a good place to learn React, but I would essentially take one of these quick deploys and figure out what components I need to strip out of it. And I would probably let this be the first version of my app. And I would probably I would probably fork this repo and build it from there. You know, if I had a bigger code base, then maybe I would take components and put it in there. But I would start by probably forking this repo, breaking it in certain ways, making it, you know, different, more unique. You know, like for that furniture example, I'd want a way to really quickly on the back end, click a button, generate a specific room that's like maybe even one-time use for a person, and then be able to send them a text message with that so they can just click on that and it'll open directly into the room with their name, and you won't need to like do all those things. So like I would figure out how that would work. Like how would I create a back end where you can generate a room and then just like make it really easy to put somebody into that room. Like that's what I would do for like that. But I would definitely start here because I don't want to build everything from scratch.
Yeah, I was thinking one thing that came to mind, which is like, if someone's doing like a virtual baby shower, like one of the games is like, don't say baby. So then it's like, maybe if someone were to say baby so for me, I'm thinking about like the different tools that we have, or the different channels. So maybe having some voice integrations of just like, anytime you hear a word said, it could trigger something.
Well,
so that could be
check this out too. If you go to look at some of the video blogs, how to add live transcription to video calls with OpenAI's Whisper. If you wanted to build that, you could follow this example from our contributor, Carlos. You could follow this example with the Twilio programmable video app with the JavaScript SDK. And then what you could do is you could use Whisper, and then you could be in real time having something look through the transcripts and look for the word baby. And if it sees the word baby, maybe it blacks someone's screen out and they're like, cut off for a minute. Like that
you're gone from the game. Or like even like what is it? Like or even if you could do like strikes of like how many times someone said baby. Okay, that could be a thing too. So we got.
So they created a Twilio live video transcription GitHub. Like that's the thing I love about this stuff now is like everything, there's a GitHub somewhere that's going to have done something not the same that you want to do, but so close that you're not starting from zero. And I think that's the key. It's like, find the resources that you need so you're not getting started from zero and you're being inspired to build things by others. I think that's really important. But then also like you got to be a good enough coder and understanding enough to get through and parse through what's happening so you can pull out the pieces that you want. And I think it's just
that you actually need. I
learned to code.
Yeah, personally. It's also, I think also just like understanding like what pieces you need. So it's like, yes. So if I'm trying to extract this, probably going to need a transcript, probably going to, like what are the blocks that allow your code to do what you need it to do? And I think,
we were just going through a directory and guessing. Carlos here has like literally, he's explaining the files that are in the directory. So you can see what's what. There's probably a blog post for all the quick deploys that we have to figure out, like, so someone can walk you through it.
It's like we have definitely the docs are always super helpful. Quick deploy blogs. I love that it's just like we don't leave you hanging as we're like go explore video, but there's so much stuff to kind of get the juices flowing in terms of video. So it's like, let's see. We have add Christmas face. Oh gosh. Monitoring camera. Ooh, that's interesting too. Got Pictionary.
This one's interesting. I always love Raspberry Pi builds. Because it's just like I just love IoT stuff.
Yeah, monitoring camera with Raspberry Pi, programmable video.
So you're basically using with this you'd be like setting your Raspberry Pi up to log in to the website and stream the video. And then on the back end being able to check in and look at it.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
It'll be cool to one of these days we'll ask our like friends who do like all things security, just like even what is on like that aspect of video. Because I do think video sometimes can get a little dicey. People are just like feels personal, Do you have any I have one camera in my house for things. Yeah, even audio stuff is a little dicey. I'm just like the data. So I think definitely like how is stuff being responsibly used? And I will say I love how thoughtful Twilio is around things, around security. So I think will be interesting. So what you got?
Do you want to laugh a little bit? Do you want to hear what the one camera that I have in my house is?
What is it? Your cat camera?
Yeah.
Is it the poop camera?
No, I don't have a camera to watch them poop. That'd be weird. I have a camera to see them eat.
Oh, okay.
So my pet feeder has a camera on it.
Okay, so that's what I meant. I thought you had gotten there's like an auto cleaning thing.
I also have a litter robot to clean their
poop. So I think that's what I was like referring to. I don't just randomly think about cat poop. Like it's just I don't. It's a Tuesday, another moment to think about cat poop.
Think about cat poop less now that I have a robot that cleans the litter box for me.
That's very important. Very important. So I was learning what how it figures it out. It like knows it because of the weight or something like that. Like something about the weight. Okay.
So yeah, the thing basically it's got a scale in it. So it's weighing my cat all the time. And then when my cat goes in, it then basically I have a timer on it, so it like waits 10 or 15 minutes after the cat finishes, and then just the cat's like gone. It doesn't scare the cat, and then it like basically rotates. It dumps the poop out. It puts the litter back. It's like it's a pretty cool design. It's pretty nifty, I will say.
Yeah, it's even that aspect of design, like how you create things, like it's always so fascinating.
It's also like so clear that like, I like hemmed and hawed over buying myself a new bike, and it was for me. And I was like, do I need that? Do I need that? And then as soon as I the litter robot was like the bike was not that much more expensive than the litter robot. And the litter robot, I'm like, nope, I'm getting it. I'm not even going to think about it. It's for my cats. Cool. I'm doing it.
It's the cool. It's also like the cool factor of like, wow, this is kind of cool. And you're like, a bike. Wow. Who needs a bike? So anyways.
I do like my bike.
Bikes are like, no, bikes are good.
By the way, it's more, I guess maybe this is a more like a brief foray back into sponsored, not sponsored.
Oh yeah. And it's funny because
I have one of these.
Oh, it looks cool.
Yeah.
It's a nice design. It almost gives like washing machine vibes.
Yeah, it's pretty big. It works pretty well.
Okay.
I'm happy with it.
Got it. So join 1 million plus litter robot users.
I also got it because it came highly recommended from a lot of people at Twilio who have cats.
Oh, yeah. The cat squads here are deep. We are
cat squads and dog squads. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Twilio, we have all the folks. No, yeah, this is good. Life-changing. Wow. Yeah. I think even when I think about that, right? Like the whole like, how do you solve a problem sustainably and at scale? Like that to me, even that aspect of like, oh, if the cat is in here and it weighs this versus cat plus poop weighs this versus cat plus litter, like it's so, I love to always see how people approach solving certain problems,
So we had one more thing. Now, I think we did some cool stuff with the video. We had one more thing that we wanted to do back related to stream, before we say goodbye.
Yes, we did. So I don't know if you're able to kind of pull up one of our our 5 questions,
Let
interview.
me find that. It's gonna just take me. We haven't opened that in a while.
Yeah, I think it was like 5. What is it on YouTube? 5 questions. It was on our YouTube channel.
Oh, that
shorts.
Something different that I was thinking about. Okay. Hold on.
Yeah, shorts. It was on YouTube Shorts, I think.
For Twilio Devs YouTube.
Yeah. So when we were in the office, we had kind of come up with a set of questions for folks. It was great. It was some nice social content. Shout out to
Chefy B for helping us make those.
Yeah, those were pretty good. Look at wow, that's a whole lot of Alex. That's a lot of
Andrew too.
Oh yeah, Andrew is right behind you. Just all the things.
Got a page of Sarah. We got a little bit of us here.
Yeah, that's when we were singing some songs. Okay, we got that. Okay, we had 3 questions.
Is one of them.
Rashad. Okay, or we can go with yours.
I don't know if let me make sure the sound's gonna come through here.
Okay.
You guys can tell me, you'll be able to tell me if you can hear this. You're not getting an echo of Bianca right now, are you, or an echo of me?
No, you're good. You see Marius.
Should we do Marius?
Yeah, we'll see captions.
Oh, I don't even have the sound on.
It's fine.
I'm based in Munich, Germany.
You can hear that, right?
Well, I play football, or how you might call it soccer. I like to go out with friends, especially in the summer. I like to go to music festivals, and in the winter I like to go skiing and or snowboarding. Well, we recently had a demo jam, and there I came up with a new 5-minute demo. So that 5-minute demo is what we do at Twilio to actually showcase what is Twilio doing and to make it interactive so that people can join and have fun while they join it. And we recently built a 5-minute demo that is like a Wheel of Fortune. So people can text in to say they want to opt in to play the game, and then the wheel spins and they might win or they might only participate. Join me on the A/B testing stream on Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Hi, I'm Mario.
I specifically tried to avoid the throwing the phone. Wow.
No, we got to just play the first 10 seconds of this because it was one of my favorite moments of the whole thing.
Can you throw your phone and lip gloss on the floor?
Kaboom. Not literally.
You just like
no, literally.
I was just trying to clean up the shot, and you just like I don't know. It was so good.
I was so it was a lot happening. Like I was tired. So okay, so what did we ask people? We asked people kind of like, what are you bringing to the show? Like, what is your build? So I think maybe we can ask people that. So we're trying to figure out like what are some good
Hi,
questions.
I'm Marius.
Yeah.
Let me I'm gonna let's see what are the questions we asked Marius. He was a good one. So like introduce yourself, and then it was
between bugs.
How do you like to enjoy your time? Like
Between
that's that
bugs.
social aspect, right?
Okay, how do you like to enjoy your time? Okay, that's a good one.
And then we said, what are you bringing to A/B testing this week? And I think those were the two. I think some of them had more questions too. Like here's Rashab. What did we ask Rashab? Oh, that was a different one. He was congratulating the people.
Kelly. I don't know if we ever posted Kelly's.
We must have. Here's
Kelly,
me. What do we ask
So
me?
definitely it asked to introduce.
What do you like to do for fun?
Okay. What do you like to do for fun?
And then what are you excited to show developers?
Oh, that was a good one. Yeah. What are you excited to show developers?
Oh, here's Kelly.
Okay. All right. Kelly had some good ones. What drew you?
Yeah.
What drew you?
Taking some notes here, Bianca. Good.
Yeah, to XYZ.
Yeah.
Alex, I didn't ask for this segment to be for vibes.
No.
We're
working here. We're on the clock.
It was a to-do list, okay? So we have, what do you bring into the show? What are you excited to show developers? What drew you to topic?
Yeah.
How do you enjoy your time? Like, maybe what do you do in your free time?
Yeah, I think it goes back to like the things that we were talking about earlier, right? It's the personal, professional, and build. Like if we think about those three things. So obviously we want people to introduce themselves. And then it's like something about their professional, like what drew you to this?
Okay.
What about your job do you love? I think there's, something there.
Okay.
And then there's the personal, like what do you do in your free time, or like what gets you excited? And then there's like, what are you going to show people, or what do you want to build? Yeah.
Okay, so we're getting some more questions.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
And then the thing I thought you were saying when you were asking for this was we had recently done some other interviews that were similar with startup founders, and we had some questions we asked at the end, and I really liked those too. And so the questions we ask is like, what's a product or business that's inspired you? We asked, why do you build? Which is a deep question. I think we gotta find something snappier.
I think the why do you build? Because I think people don't get asked that question, right? Like why? Like I don't think I think we're so busy doing and not really connecting. Oh, ew, vulnerability. Oh, sorry. It just made. I was like,
I think the funniest was I asked some guy who was a 5-time founder, every single one successful. I'm like, why do you build? Why do you keep doing this? And he was like, I don't know what else to do. It's like, cool, great answer.
and honestly, okay, so that's a good kind of segue, right? Like just a little stream of consciousness.
Stream consciousness. That's got to be a segment.
Yeah, stream consciousness. I think that's the other piece too, which is I don't know that we get time to really reflect on what we've been doing. And I do think streams can kind of bring in that aspect of like slowing down. Like we hear about video, but when do we get a chance to really sit down and like play around with video? And I think this aspect of like play, reflection, things like that, like I do think that is pretty valuable in anyone's kind of journey, you know?
spell this right?
I don't know what stream of stream.
Did I or no?
I think so. You know, it's.
I'm bad at spelling, so I had to ask.
I
like that though.
Not conscious. Why am I? See, my words aren't even.
Chat.
Yes,
Let me know if I misspelled that.
Yes. Stream of stream.
It's correct.
Okay,
Woo!
Thank you. Woo! But yes. What's your stream of stream consciousness, Alex?
I just like that title.
You have one?
Stream of stream conscious. No, I think the vulnerability part is really core. And then the other question that we would ask those startup founders is like, what advice would you give to somebody else? Which I think is good for evangelists too. Like, what advice would you give to somebody earlier in your career? I think that that's a really powerful question because it's like thinking back, what do you wish you knew?
I like that.
Yeah, I just think there's this balance of like, because part of what we're asking for this is we want like quick, engaging things to show as like previews and social videos and stuff like that. So it's like, we want to get quick sound bites. We want to get to know people quick and we want it to feel exciting and personal, but we also don't want it to just be like, what's your favorite color? Like we want to get to know people. And I think we want to find ways to relate to people. And I think that that's the key. And like, can you relate to somebody because you share hobbies? Can you relate to somebody because you are really inspired by how they got to where they are, or you have a similar passion for your work, or maybe you're just excited about seeing what they're going to build for you. So I think it's like capturing the essence of interpersonal relationship and getting people excited. So yeah.
I love that. Well, thank you. So this, as always, it is it's an absolute blast kicking it, hanging out with y'all cool peeps. Next week, we'll let you know who we'll have on. But over the next, as you know, Signal is coming up soon. So over the next month, we'll have kind of, some early previews. So we want to make sure you're in the loop. You'll get to see some folks from our community, so that some of our champions. So we're super excited for that. And then if there are other things that you're kind of curious about, releases, did Alex share something on Twilio Update that you're really into?
I forgot. I did Twilio Update.
You did?
There's a new one today.
Oh, well, see, that was not sponsored. It just, just pushing out the content. But definitely, y'all, we hope to see you again. As always, we have tons of wonderful shows for you to check out. So you kicked off the week with us on Tuesday.
Yeah. And then Wednesday we got Build a Blog.
Boom. And then Thursday we have is it the Developer Lens or Developer Lens? Either which way, you should just be on Twitch and hanging out.
Yeah.
Watching.
Someone just asked if they can message us with a question. And I think the spot for that would be if someone wants to drop the Discord link. I'm having issues right now with on Twitch, so I can't do it. But if someone can drop the Discord link, that would be the best way to get us. And then also, both Bianca and I will be at Signal. Come, if you want to ask us a question in person, come to Signal and come say hi. And we're giving our talks. We're going to be hanging out.
We'll be working. We'll be working. We'll be working. We are not there for fun.
Working hard or hardly working. Yeah, we're going to be working. So
come
see us at Signal. Go watch the other streams. Everyone who streams, everyone at Twilio is great, but the streamers, y'all are particularly fun.
Yes. No, this is an exciting time. So again, check out our list of wonderful events taking place throughout the week. As always, it's great hanging out with y'all. See you next week, Tuesday, 2 p.m.
We'll see you Tuesday. Hey, Evan, just saying hi at the end. Friend of mine. We'll see you guys all on Tuesday.
Hi, Evan. I don't know you, but hi, Evan, Alex's friend.
But bye.